So I'm going to show you a little bit of the little Polish town that I grew up in. We have an interesting mix of the new and the old. It's a very small town, so I don't even have to use my car that I have rented. So I have the car parked at my mother's place and I'm just walking around everywhere as I used to do when I was a kid. Some beautiful parks. When I was a kid, everything that we see here was in ruin. So I'm glad that finally someone renovated it, because those buildings are quite amazing. And I think it helped the funds from European Union that Poland received after they joined the European Union. So now we can see those buildings in its former glory. I'm going to show you my school as well, my primary school. Sulechów is actually quite cute little town. The only problem with the Polish little towns is that people are very gossipy, so everyone knows everyone's business, which I don't appreciate. So other than this, it's great. It looks so much better than when I used to live here 30 years ago. This building used to be at the City's One Hotel, but I guess it's no longer, and I don't know what's in there now. It looks like kind of abandoned. There is a pharmacy in here, and then we have our post office as well, right over there. That's our post office, and my school is right behind, so I don't have very far to go to school. Right here they have an amphitheater, and I can just walk over there. And I saw last time there were some concerts. Even one of the most famous Polish singer was giving a concert. I think this is under renovation here now. Yeah, now there is a parking lot. That's funny. I swear there was a stage in there, but maybe temporarily they're using it as a parking lot. That's funny. But anyway, it looks like they're renovating quite a bit. I love what they did to those stairs behind that building. Okay. So cheers from Sulechów, my beautiful little town in Poland. It is located close to the Polish-German border, and about 180 kilometers from Berlin and about 450 kilometers from Warsaw. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of my little town. And here is my primary school that I started my education. And before, they didn't have those trees, and you could see everything. But I like it with the trees, so it makes it much more pleasurable for the kids to be outdoors. Okay, and gonna show you our post office. It is a quite nice building, and that's our post office. It's a kind of historical building. Okay. So here I'm barely walking for about 8 minutes, and there is already one end of our town. And here's a club, a volleyball club, because my little town in Poland has quite a bit of especially women's volleyball tradition. And this is our club, which is called Sulechów. And as far as I know, the girls are still playing. And this is a building where most of competitions were taking place. And I think it belongs now to the high school. That's what it says, but I'm going to try to go in and film a little bit. Okay, so I enter. And you know what, guys? The smell is the same. Oh my God, it's exactly the same as when I was a little girl. Oh my God, it looks the same. Pretty much the same. And so ever since I was about 10 years old, I was playing volleyball. And that's the place where I had practices every day. So for 5 years I played volleyball in here, and we were also traveling to other places. So every Saturday we either play in here with another team from another city, or we were traveling to another city. So I got used to hotels at very young age. So no wonder I became a travel agent. But that's how it looks, and it looks exactly the same. Oh my God, I was like attending some first league volleyball matches, because our women team was in the first league for a very long time. Of course, I was a kid back then, but those matches were all here. And I remember in the 70s how we would sit and cheer and scream, and oh my God, like so many more memories. It's like crazy. For me, they have a balconies for viewing. And I remember our school dentist was right in here, and I hated it going to the dentist. But I remember still the dentist cabinet was right there on the left. There is a door right here. You know, I think they still have it. Look, I think so. No, there is some doctor there now. But this dentist would torture us, because when they were drilling you, they never put any freezing. So since then, I really hate going to a dentist. But of course, in Canada, I don't hate, because we get freezing and everything. So yeah, so many memories, and I can't believe it looks exactly the same. I'm lucky that nothing is taking place, so I can film like that. Wow. So see how close it was for me? The school is right here, and the volleyball place is right here. It's a beautiful building. And this building belongs to my old school. There is some graffiti. And then there was this little sports hall. Not as nice as the one that we just saw, but this one was right at my school, and I play volleyball in here as well. Maybe I should just walk through the grounds of my school, and I can really admire. Oh no, it's locked. You can't. Oh, they don't want me anymore. But anyway, I can really admire how nicely they've made this, how nice landscape there is now, because before it was just asphalt, nothing. Okay, so this is my school, and it used to be the primary school number 2. But ever since I left, I mean, a few years after, they changed education system. So now it is a gymnasium, which sounds like a gym, but the gymnasium, it means like a kind of like a secondary part of primary education, if that makes any sense, right? So older kids would use the school. When I lived here, it was just like, I mean, it was all the kids from, we started at 7. We started at 7 years old and we continue until we were 15. But I believe these kids now, I can ask those girls. So one more time, my school, and they changed back the system. So now the lady told me that it's back to grade 1 through grade 8, because for a moment grade 1 through 5 was somewhere else, and this was only grade 6 through 8, and now it's back to normal the way when I live here. But the different thing is that they lock the gates so the kids don't run away, don't avoid school, which is something new for me, because we never had like that. But the times were different. This building is really old, and different things happened to that building, and now I see it looks again like it's abandoned. And I think this is one of the oldest buildings, if not the oldest, in this little town. So now I'm going to visit a pharmacy. I need to buy a few things. And this pharmacy is owned by a mom of one of my friends from school in here. There's the old city wall incorporated between the buildings. And finally sun is coming after, well, I've been here for about 8 days now. And my vacation is finishing soon, like in 7 days, and this is first time that honestly I can say that it is sunny finally. It's funny because they never had a travel agency here, but I see that they have one, so I'm gonna go and check it out. Look at the holes in those sidewalks. Can you imagine? Like that would be a big lawsuit somewhere else. Okay, so everything is nicely new painted. Not everything, but overall the city looks much better when I used to live here in the communist times, socialist times. So one more look around here, and let's check out the travel agency. There you go, it's biuro podróży. It's the travel agency, Max Holiday. To tam będzie masakra.
Na pewno.
Znaczy ja nie miałam za dużo ludzi na Karaiby, bo ja ogólnie mówię, że na Karaiby taka, tu macie travel, że nie będę pani kręcić, bo to czytamy. Proszę bardzo. Just like in our office. Brochures. So I had a nice little chat with Kasia from a local travel agency. We could just exchange our experiences about this job. So it was very nice. It was nice meeting her. So I'm going to explore some more of my little town. It's quite interesting because most of those stores are new, but there are some that I remember from my childhood, like this Mish right here. always was here, and it's kind of a store that we used to buy pens, pencils, paper products. Now looks like they sell toys for kids. And there is this really old hair salon for ladies. You see, I think that dates from the 50s, maybe from the 40s even. No, from the 50s most likely. Okay, so a few stores. There is some fun sign here, Baba Yaga, which is a witch, Polish witch. People are looking weird at me. What the heck is she doing here when I'm filming? But anyway, it's great here. This is an old building that I remember used to be like a fruit and vegetable store, and now this is all new. And this is our beautiful Gothic style church. Yeah, the church is quite amazing. I don't know if I can film inside. I will try. And this whole area here, when I was a kid, was all open, and these stores did not exist. So the church was kind of like the focal point of this area. Right now, this church is hidden kind of in between those new buildings. Okay, let's go and see the church. I love this church, so beautiful. And we used to have mandatory religion lessons right in that building. I don't know if you can just enter the church like that, or I will try, we'll see. So unfortunately the church is not open. I was able to go inside a little bit only, and I filmed a little bit of the inside, but I could not really film those beautiful high ceilings. There is a little grotto in here. Grotto with Mary. And here we have our Brama Piastowska, which is the old city gate, and parts of the old city walls. And right there we have our rat house, because as I mentioned, our town used to be a German town, and usually the city center there was a square and a rat house in the middle. You don't see this type of arrangement in some other cities in Poland, which are more in central Poland or eastern Poland, so mostly in the German part, ex-German part. So one more time, our beautiful church. I see that the clock is broken. That's a shame. Maybe on this side only. I think on the other sides it is working. But my grandfather used to be the guy who worked on the clock. So he was always fixing this clock here on our church. So now I'm gonna see my girlfriend, hopefully, who's a dentist in here. We went to primary school together, I think. So I think she's walking right there. And I'm coming to see you.
Cześć!
Cześć! Patrz, jaki dobry czas wybrałam. Wiem, że ty masz... There is a real estate office. So it was perfect timing. I just ran into my friend as she was leaving. And we're gonna meet tonight at 8. And I know she's... on Wednesday she always finishes earlier. So it was a very good timing that we just ran into each other. And there is the rat house again. And I'm gonna see who else I can meet today. Here's the rat house square. So some of those buildings are original buildings, they just been painted. And some of them on the other side from the from the socialist era. There is our lion fountain. This lion was always working when I live here, and I'm glad that it's still working, that fountain now. When I live here, we don't have those maple trees, so these are new. And it used to be a cafe, a very nice cafe, and I don't know if they done. Now they have a pharmacy here. Oh my god, it used to be a really cool cafe, and the only pretty much cool cafe that our city had. So I guess they renovated everything, and there is just like another pharmacy. Polish people love to buy medicines, and pharmaceutical business is really booming. So often you see a small town and you can see up to 10 pharmacies. So far I walked by, I saw already 5. And of course this is a building from the communist socialist era. So in the other part that the cafe was because the cafe was you had to go downstairs, like in here. Now I see they have some little theater here, and I never really liked going to the church when I was a teenager. So my mother always made me go to church. So basically the church is right there, right behind there, around the corner there. And I would go to this cafe when it used to be cafe, and I would stay an hour here drinking coffee or whatever, something else, and I would then leave as people, the same time as the people were leaving the church, and I would ask them what kind of sermon there was, because my mother always would quiz me about what sermon the priest was saying. And yeah, so I would know, and then I would pretend, I would tell my mother a lie. Yeah, I've been to church. Meanwhile, I was at the cafe. And still, till this time, I do not like going to churches, other than just to admire the architecture. Mamy moją koleżankę z podwórka, Gosię. Cześć Gosia. Miło też. I ma... Tak. I jestem w jej salonie, a chciałam powiedzieć kosmetycznym, fryzjerskim.
Gdzie ty jesteś, Aniczka?
Ja jestem w Waterloo w Ontario. So I've met one of my childhood friends. We grew up in the same building, and I'm happy to say that she has her own business and she's doing very well, and she was always a very nice girl. And you know, lots of people in here have some economical problems. To find a good job is very difficult. The economy in Poland is getting better and better, but the salaries are still, if you don't work for yourself, if you work for somebody else, the salaries are generally very, very, very low. Oh yeah, I have to go to a photo store. Let's see if I can go here. I have to buy something. Where is the photo store? And my old park. This used to be the nicest park in the city, and I'm glad that the fountain is still working. They don't cut the grass the way they normally do everywhere else. You can see our old church right there. Lots of nice little places here. You can see that the fall is coming already. Some of those buildings are still not renovated. And look, this one is from 1910. And this is our bank. This is one of my favorite streets in my old little town. It's called an Independence Street. Independence Street. And why it's always been my favorite is because this street had always had lots of trees. This is a guy who used to fix our shoes. Like in Poland, we don't buy shoes, or maybe now, but in the old days, you didn't buy shoes and just threw them away when they were a little bit used. You would go to a guy and he would like fix them, and then they would be much longer usable. I think there is a some of those buildings could use some good renovation, but I guess it depends of the financial status of their owners. I really love this German style balconies. They're just lovely with those geraniums. I don't know how many English speaking people will watch this vlog, but a friend of mine, Wayne, said the other day, Anita, why don't you record those vlogs in English? You need to do more, the ones that you're talking about stuff, everyday stuff, you need to do more in English than just in Polish. So I said, okay, Wayne, I will, just for you, I will start recording them in English. And I know Jim in Nova Scotia, our raccoon whisperer will be watching them for sure. So thanks guys for watching, and I'm recording a little bit in English just for you. Here we have our local hospital. This is the new part, and this is the old part, and this is the place that I was born at, and I think I was born in this building right there, this one, and right on top floor of this building. And this is a building that we always call the castle, and it used to be a kindergarten, and for years it looked like the place was abandoned, and now I heard that someone bought it, and it's right across from the hospital where I was born, right there, one of those rooms. And somebody bought this building, and they I think they're renovating all furniture, and they're selling. They have a gallery of old furniture right there. See, don't have time to go in, but I show you from outside. And there is another pharmacy, and this is urgent care clinic, as they call it, of my city. And this road goes all the way down, right up to the train station, which right now I don't have time to show. I will see if I find time next couple of days I'm here to show you the train station. And there is the castle again, and the old hospital. And this is our old train station. Our train station. It's almost the same as I remember before. Yeah, little place. Ever since I was a child, I always liked to develop pictures, and because our apartments were so small, I couldn't really afford to have a dark room, but I knew someone who was in charge of the dark room in this hospital. So there's another beautiful building. So I've made a deal with them, and I was able to use the hospital's dark room between the hours of 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. So very often I was here the whole night, and I will be developing pictures and experimenting. Oh, this is a car like mine, exactly, and the same color and everything. So yeah, so I would go in at 10 at night, and often I would emerge early hours of the morning, and I'd be very happy because that's something that I love doing. And I didn't develop in color, it was just strictly in black and white. It was very exciting for me. Mushrooms growing in Poland everywhere. It's time for mushrooms now. Of course, there is advertisement for another pharmacy. See? Lots of pharmacies in Poland. Here we have our old water pressure tower. So I have pictures of my city from the times that they were still in 1800s Germany, and that tower is already there on those pictures. So it's been here a very long time. So I'm walking around, and I'm very close to the place that I used to live. Looks like lots of places are closed. Used to be a dairy store here. So the building that I was living in for most of my time in Poland is this like typical communist architecture. That second building right there. And then you can see the more of the tower. So on one end we see our old rat house, and on the other end we see our water tower. And this street used to be the busiest street, still is, in the city, but now we have a highway, so at least most of the traffic, the heavy traffic, goes through the highway. But when I lived here, there was no highway, so all the heavy traffic, all the trucks and everything was going right under our windows, which wasn't very good. And our building doesn't look too good because it's not painted for many years. Typical small apartments, small windows. My car is still there, I hope. Yeah, it's right there. That's my car rental, this one. Blue one. They gave me Toyota Yaris. I was gonna have Fiat 500, but they gave me Toyota Yaris. There's a little marketplace right outside, and there is the entrance. And something curious about this building, you know, like how we have such small apartments in here, but the hallways are just huge. So as I was saying, the hallways are really huge in this building. Look at this. Not crazy. And apartments are small, so it was very stupid communist design that rather than maybe divide the building more, because right now the building is divided into 2 parts, but if they divide that into 4 parts, you could utilize the space for people's apartments rather than empty hallways. And as a kids, we were playing, we would be stepping outside of this. It's like a parent's worst nightmare. Oh, we would be hanging on these things, but not here, like 4 stories high, of course. And those were our children's place, and we would be basically rollerblading in here. The neighbors wouldn't be very happy because we would make lots of noise, and that's how we play here, especially in the winter. So I'm getting to my mom's place, and we have lots of things to do, so I will stop now. See how it goes. Yep, hanging on those like 4-year-old. Here parents would have like a heart attack now. Something like that happened.